In this project, we will be building a CSS3 drop-down menu, okay, and it has a little bit of animation. You'll see if we hover over services, we get this, it kind of pops in, slides in, which is a CSS transition. Okay, we have the same thing on the sides. Alright, and also it's going to be responsive. So if we make this browser smaller, you can see that now we have a button. We click on that, and that opens up a drop down with all the levels. Okay, so all of our links. So that's what we'll be building. Basically, as far as files, we have our main index HTML, we have one style sheet, and for images we have the menu icon for when it's viewed on a small device, and then we have this separator image. Alright, and if we look at the menu, you can see this here. This is just it's a 1 pixel wide image that I'm using as a separator. Okay, you could just use a border if you wanted to, but I like the kind of glowy look that this image has. Plus, we haven't done this yet, so let's go ahead and build or create our folder, and I'm just going to call it menu. Okay, so this will be our working folder. I'm going to create a new document, call it index.html. I'm going to have a folder for CSS and a folder for images. And as far as the images, I'm just going to grab them. Okay, paste those in. Okay, now we'll go ahead and open up the index page with Notepad++. So first thing is always the doc type, HTML5 doc type in this case. We want our head area, body, whoops, we forgot our HTML tag. Body, HTML. Okay, so title, we'll just say CSS drop down menu, and then we want to link our style sheet. So link rel is going to be style sheet, and the location is in the CSS folder, and it's called style.css. And then I'm going to add in the type, which is going to be text/CSS. Okay, let's open up that CSS file and just make sure that it's linked. Oh, we didn't even create it yet. So I'm going to create a new text document, style.css. Okay, and then we'll open that up. And let's just do a quick test here. Okay. Alright, so we know that it's linked. So let's go ahead and create the HTML. It's not going to be too difficult. We need a meta tag for our viewport, because this is going to be responsive. So name, viewport, and let's see, content is going to be width equals device width, and then set an initial scale of 1. Okay. Now we are going to be using a little bit of Jquery, and basically the only thing we're going to be doing is dynamically adding a wrapper div around the menu when it's responsive. Okay, so when it gets here, we need to dynamically add a wrapper to it so that we can do what we need to do. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just link to jQuery through the Google library. Okay, so script src, and the URL is going to be https ajax.google.api.com/ajax/libs/jquery/1.11.1/jquery.min.js. Okay, and then we just want to add a closing script tag. Okay, so let me just make sure that that is actually linked. Okay, no errors in the console. Alright, good. So the base div, or I'm sorry, the base element we're going to use is the nav nav element or nav tag, okay, which is an HTML5 tag, and we're just going to give it an ID of menu wrap. Okay, close that. Make sure you use a closing nav and not a div. And then we're going to create the unordered list, which is going to have an ID of menu. Okay, so essentially this is just going to be a big unordered list. Okay, li. Alright, let me copy this. So the first link will be for the home page. And these actually aren't going to go anywhere. I'm just giving them title. I'm not going to actually add a link. And we'll have an about. Okay, those are going to be just top level links. Alright, so if we want to create a drop down, then in our li tag, okay, in our li tag we're going to have a link. Okay, and then under the link we're going to create a new UL and then add our sublinks. So services, we'll say HTML, CSS, Flash. Actually, you know what? That's not what I wanted to do. I want to make actually multiple levels. So let's see, UL, and then we'll have, this will be web design. And then we want to add another submenu underneath that, which will include all the web design services. Okay, so then we'll have HTML, CSS, we'll say Flash, and graphic design. And actually this ending li tag, this should be right here, and then we want to indent this unordered list. Okay, so services, under services we have web design, which has sub items. I want to create another one, another link that has sub items. Okay, we'll call this web programming. And I'll just change these real quick. Okay, and we'll say Python. Okay, so under services we have web design and web programming, which have their own list items. So after that, let's just do one more. Actually, we'll do two more links. Okay, this one, let's say, I don't know, web hosting. Okay, and then we'll do one more under that. So this one will say SEO. Okay, so that's our services menu item. So let's see, after services, let's do projects. Alright, so projects will also have sub items. So after the link, we're going to add a new UL. Okay, so we'll have project 1. Two, 3, 4, and then I'm going to add one more main item. Okay, and this is going to be contact. Okay. So I think that's good. Let's save it, and it's not going to look like much. Okay, so it's just a straight up unordered list, no design, still has all its bullets, everything. So in the next video, we'll create the CSS to turn this into a navigation menu.